Yeah. So we were
Well, let's finish this story.
And then the light came down, and she's just like staring at it. And so I said, "Come here." And all of a sudden, it was right next to Jen's head.
Wow.
And shrunk. It was like
You mean you didn't say that to Jen? Come here.
No.
You said to the object.
Yeah.
Come closer is what you're saying.
Because I could feel it was intelligent life in there watching us, And
so, it actually came towards you.
Yeah, I said, "Come here." And I thought maybe it would come a little bit closer, but it was like, bam. And
I heard about this.
Yeah, but it was smaller, and the whole forest in front of all the trees were lit up so bright, like you were saying. It was so bright, like a baseball field, at night. Like it was all the trees, everything was lit up right in front of us. And
Whoa.
I thought Jen was shining her flashlight there. And I'm like, "Why are you shining your light on?" But it was right next to her head. So it had gone from way back there to right next to her. Then she grabbed me and said, "What is this?" And I said, "I don't know. You're the expert." I'm like,
"What is it, Terry? What is it, Terry?"
I know. So Jen, who was like, "So, okay, we're going to meet here. We're going to do this." I mean, she's just so level-headed.
Yeah, I kind of heard her kind of almost screaming.
She was.
So you're in the tent trying to get to sleep, or what are you doing?
I heard that, so I went over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the light was there. I mean,
you could see it. You corroborate that?
Not next to them, but it was on the hill still, and then it just faded out.
That was at the end.
And I looked at her and I said, "I guess that's the end of the show."
Yeah, so it was up by us and really bright. She was shining her flashlight back at them, trying to get them to come, because she said she said she was thinking if she left to go get them, it would disappear, and she missed it. So she stayed with me, which I'm glad, because once the beam came down, I was kind of thinking, like the only movie I had seen is Fire in the Sky, and that was terrifying. I don't watch scary movies. I'm like, all the alien movies.
Travis Walton.
Yeah.
How much higher was the ship than the beam of light?
The beam of light was coming out of the ship at the end of the valley, but when it came up close, I don't know. I thought it was her flashlight at first, and that's one thing, afterwards when she shined her flashlight, it was nowhere near. It lit up one tree or just lit up everything. So that kind of really made me think, wow, that was. So I understand why she was so freaked out.
But it wasn't possible to tell how high the ship was approximately?
When it was close? Yeah, it was right by her head. It was like 6
Switch
feet,
seats.
8 feet.
Right here, Jen.
It was really close, really close. And then she wanted me to get on the car. She's like, "Let's get on the car." And she was like, and I'm like, "What?" And then she said something like she was
Scoot
scared.
in here very closely.
She was kind of like,
and guess who's here?
"Okay."
Jen is here. She just walked in the door, and we were talking about your experience between you two guys and Jacques McCandlish potentially seeing a UFO, not only just seeing, but experiencing this thing. Tell us what you know about this whole deal.
I'm going to let Sam take it from here. My point of view is we need to investigate further, but I think you've got this covered.
Yeah. So...
So that's basically it. What happened afterwards?
Then it went back that way, and
it retreated.
Yeah.
And which direction would that have been?
Towards the mountain, away from us. Yeah. And
okay.
It was smaller,
Yeah.
And then that's when the other people in the house, a couple people came out, the orb lady and shot out there, and
Karen, the orb lady, lives right there in a beautiful little log cabin at the foot of Mount Baker in the Canyon Creek area.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you guys were camping, right? At Karen's house or that general area?
Well, yeah, I was staying inside, and
I was just there for a night watch.
The other people were at a cabin and
cool.
Up there. So the other people came out when it was smaller. So I'm glad that at least had a witness for parts of it, And,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, how about that? Is that a good story? I mean, it's a long story, but we got it all out. And
I just couldn't. I mean, I'm still processing.
And Jacques McCandlish was at the same site, witnessing all this stuff. So there's some corroboration there.
The beginning, the middle, and the end of the whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you can corroborate that these two lovely ladies were actually there witnessing this.
Yeah, and we were wondering if we had had missing time, but I'm like, I think the people in the house would have noticed. I don't know, poorly. But I mean, all the stuff that you hear or see in movies starts coming through. So I didn't even think of it as a UFO because I didn't see like a ship per se, but I guess it's a anomaly or whatever, aerial. I don't know. It was
an aerial phenomena, that's for sure.
And
unidentified.
A little bit more in the house. There was a light scanning through the window and green laser beam light scanning.
Okay, well, that is a story for next week. But go ahead, Jen. What were you going to say?
Oh, I'm so glad she covered the light. Whatever. Sorry, everyone. I put a mint in my mouth. That was preventing me from speaking.
A mint mouth.
Yes, a mint mouth.
But you smell really nice.
The one thing that I want to maybe just touch on is that I do think that this warrants further investigation. I think that we need to keep up our night watches, perhaps document through scientific electronic means, whatever we possibly can. Even if at that moment we had a video camera going, we might have something for you guys to watch because whatever there was physical in the sense that it was creating a reflection off of things. Mm-hmm. And so you could see the reflection.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, that's
what kind of a reflection? If you could describe that for the folks on the radio, they're listening. What do you mean by a reflection?
Sure. So imagine an SUV, and not on the hood or the bonnet of the car, but actually on the top of the car, the roof of the car, there was a reflection of a bluish-hued light.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And in the center had a direct, brighter circle light that was more of a whitish color, and what emanated from that was a bluish color. And that was the reflection on the vehicle is how I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Is that why you want to get on the car?
Interesting.
Oh, I couldn't figure out why you wanted to get on the car.
Yep.
And then when I asked you earlier about what color was the light, because it was such a bright white, but it was like a super light blue to it. Like I don't know, I thought of it as like those day lamps or, but it was just so bright.
Like all over. Like a diffused bright light.
It was diffused, but really bright.
Now, let me follow up on this idea that you wanted to get on top of the car. What does that mean?
Just in the moment, I wanted us physically to climb on top of the car.
Which car?
My vehicle, which is an SUV. And
it wasn't the white SUV?
No.
Okay, it was a different SUV.
Different one. And I wanted to get closer to it and maybe get a higher view of vantage.
Oh, isn't that interesting? I don't know that I would have that urge, but something tried to get you to maybe get close. Whoa.
There was two things going on in my mind. I'm either going into the woods after it, or we're going to get closer a different way. And since I was with another team member, I knew it would have been irresponsible to take off and leave her. So at that point, I had looked at her and said, is it okay? Can we get on my car? Because I wanted to know if she was okay with physically running and jumping onto my car to get a better view. We did not.
Yeah.
Jock came out shortly, within a minute, as we were making our way closer, which drew our attention back to just trying to explain to him what was going on.
Yeah.
It may have beamed you up.
Well, that's what we were wondering. And I didn't notice on top of the car when she said reflection. I was noticing how the sides, like the tail lights, the lights were all lit up. Like you shine a light out of it was all there.
Yeah. So what I take from this is that because of the physical reflection on the roof of my SUV, along with the physical reflection and how it lit up the tree and the skies around us, that this was not a shared hallucination, that there was actually something physical there. And that, again, is why I say we do need to investigate further.
Well, I'm wondering whether Karen got some pictures, because she did come out.
Well, she didn't have her camera, and
Yeah.
I didn't have my phone with me, and both of your phones were dead, so it was kind of a weird,
Both of the phones were dead. So here we are, the UFO I Team,
Well,
totally cameraless. At the time this amazing event happens, and that's typical. Let's put it that way.
Well, even if we do have our cameras ready, the power is turning off during that time without a beep of a recording, without anything that normally would happen when you turn off a camera, just almost as if the footage has stopped recording for that time. That happens a lot to us as well. So who knows what we would have captured, if anything, but again, I'm ready to go back out there.
Well, I should add, I did get a video of a light on a hill south or east, I guess it was west of Maple Falls, Sunday night.
Okay.
But I showed that last week, and it's pretty similar. But the light that I saw, there was many of them.
oh,
Really bright.
at the beginning, when I was saying it was doing weird things and change colors, it looked like I hadn't got my new glasses yet, but I have 2010 vision before and with these, but so it looked like there were 3 lights in the triangle, like there was a red one and white ones, and then they went together. But it was far away, so I wasn't sure what I was seeing. And again, I was just kind of the whole time just kind of, is this real? Is this really happening? Did it come up here?
Okay.
And all of a sudden,
I'd like to reiterate, and I'm not sure because, again, I walked in. Hello, everyone. Greeting, people of Earth. This is Ray here.
This is Ray. Ray Leo.
I walked into the middle of this, so I just want to reiterate something that I think in the moment the stories may have been confused in the retelling, and not on our parts, but of people who heard it. So I just want to make sure that we reiterate this fact, because this is important to me as the light that was on my vehicle, is that we had 2 separate lights that were going on. So there was a light off in the distance in the mountain hill type region. Could have been a logger, could have been a night hiker, could have been a light from someone hunting illegally. That was not what we were watching. That was a separate incident that was going on.
Who saw that? There was somebody else that saw that, or did you also see that?
I saw that to begin with.
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, and I saw that, and I believe Jacques saw that. I know Karen, I believe that's all Karen actually saw, was this light that was on the hill, which was, again, a second occurrence that was happening simultaneous and far, far off in the distance. The incident in question was within 20 yards of us, and it would change during the time. So I just want to make sure that we clarify that. There was logging or hiking lights that has nothing to do with what we saw. It was completely separate.
Way bigger.
Wow.
So
that's a close encounter. You're talking close.
very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Very interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do a short commercial break right now, because that was an amazing story. And it's just fortuitous that Ray Leo walks in the door just as this story is being told by Sam, and now you guys can corroborate, the whole thing. So that's fast. And that happened, was it last weekend?
Yeah, it was
Just last weekend.
Yeah.
Who the heck knows what's going to go on this weekend when we go down to Mount Adams?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to join us there?
I will be there one way or another.
Oh, my goodness. Just think if the lights are going to follow Ray down to Mount Adams along with
Maybe
us.
I'll get a lift there.
Hitchhike.
It was actually the weekend before last. Sorry about that.
Yes, clarify, that's right.
Now, I'm
Okay.
curious about Mount Adams. Is it considered to be a vortex?
At the City Ranch, they have a vortex there, and it's very you can feel that there's an anomaly there. Yeah, definitely.
There, the famous vortex that we're probably thinking about is Mount Shasta in northern California. But, of all the mountains in Washington State, Mount Baker seems to be a really hot spot. Mount Rainier, not so much lately, but of course that's the famous mountain that Kenneth Arnold initially cited, the very first UFO, but that actually coined the term flying saucer.
Oh wow.
Mount Rainier. And then Mount Adams, supposedly, where we're going to go this weekend. That's kind of one of the three kind of major hot spots in the state of Washington.